So before we start, anybody heard about UCC before? Before you took this class in your previous life or working experience, ever heard about UCC? Uniform Commercial Code? That's great. That's great. At least you spend 2 hours today to learn what UCC is. Hopefully, you're gonna use UCC after you learn. Again, one of the objective for this class is try to help the student. You're sitting here once for a while, okay? Once for a while, please write it down. We have 4 sessions left, all right? Sorry about that, it is very irregular. Sorry about that. I try to spread out because I know right now we are facing the parking lot issue. So if I put together my class with another regular schedule, for those of you coming late, you probably could not find out the parking space in this area. So that is the reason why I try to separate my schedule from the regular schedule set by the school. All right. Welcome back. Have your seat. Yeah. Come in. Yeah. So, yeah, please write it down. Okay, we have another 4 sessions left for this semester. But for those of you, I just saw another new coming in. We have 5 people came in, for the first time for this class, but still okay, right? But hopefully you don't miss. We have another 4 left, okay, including today. For those of you just came in for the first time, and I believe you still can catch up, okay? So let's continue the final part of the agreement. Okay, where is the sign sheet? Okay, where is it? No, my sign sheet. Over there? Yeah, does she finish yet? Okay. Come in, have a seat. Hi, how are you? Are we in February now? March. It's gone. Oh, March. Okay, all right. Sorry about that. I thought this is the first class we meet. But anyway, continue from agreement. Everybody still remember what topic we talked about from last time? Let's get a little bit refreshment. Okay, refresh. Okay. In order to have agreement be effective and valid, I mean good contract, there are 4 elements there. We need to continue from their part, okay, from there, okay. Everybody still remember, if you want to enter into a good contract means enforceable, right? There are 4 elements you must meet. So now include those 4 or 5 new students. For those people you sitting here in February, still remember? If you can check your note. So yeah, let's go one by one, okay? Because we're gonna continue from there. Otherwise, it does not make any sense, right? So as I said, for those of you who are new, you did not miss too much, so we can continue, okay? So we need to meet 4 or 5 elements in order to enter into the good contract. When I say good, I mean you can enforce, you can count on it, right? So there are 4 elements, right? Number 1, so people you just mentioned.
Acceptance?
Not yet. We leave it alone. We keep it as the second one. So let's go step by step. The first element, capacity. Okay, let's get a little bit refresh. So number 1 element is capacity. All right, capacity. Making sure the party who enter into, who execute, who sign on the agreement must be either number 1, if it is a natural person, the age minimum is 18 years old. Capacity, right? So making sure you do not enter into any agreement with minor. Okay, if you enter into agreement with minor, maybe it is invalid or at least revocable. So making sure the other side, capacity. Okay. So we have two parts here. 18 years old. But if the other part is a corporation, what do you need to make sure? I mentioned this. Say, for your business, more likely than not, more frequently, you do not enter into the agreement with natural person. Say, for example, you enter into the lease agreement. The other party is a corporation. So you are the tenant, and the other part is the landlord. And you know the building is under the ownership of the corporation. So you want to make sure the person who signed the lease agreement or any other contract, this person is really true legal representative, right? So you want to make sure the other party is either the CEO, CFO, secretary on the record, or at least the manager. And for any other major transaction, you would like to ask for the resolution. That means the written approved letter from the board of director. Making sure. Board of director. Eventually, we're gonna leave this issue to the, I believe that's the topic I leave to May 20th. That is a business organization, right? But at this moment, you need to be aware of this issue, all right? So right now we're talking about the first element of the valid agreement, that's the capacity. So making sure that if it is natural person, making sure the age beyond 18. If it is business entity, you need to make sure the person who signed on the agreement, who is really the legal, who is in the capacity of the legal representative. So CEO, CFO, secretary, manager. For any major matter, you need to request for the letter from the board of director. So this is the first issue. The second issue, some people mentioned already, right? What it is?
Acceptance.
That is called meeting of mind. Meeting of mind. So we are talking about acceptance, right? Offer and acceptance. So the second one is meeting. So we are talking about, this is a big issue you mentioned. Okay, this is a big issue. So we raised a couple of examples, right? So A, say for example, is the buyer, the purchaser. Send out one letter to the seller to inquiry for the pricing and the availability. Remember this example, we talked about that? A is the buyer, and B is the seller. And usually the negotiation probably starting from the inquiry letter. A send an email or a letter whatsoever to B, to the seller, to inquire, number one, the availability, number two, the price, right? And probably talking about the quality, the level, the spec, right? And then B reply to A's inquiry, say, yes, we do have this available on certain day and at what price and at what quantity. At this moment, probably there is no offer. Okay, we just want to make sure what offer is. For just inquiry, there is no offer. So if there is no offer, there is no acceptance. Just want to make sure. Okay. Say for example, if A just send the inquiry letter to B, say our company want to ask, is such amount gonna be available on certain day, and how much you can offer? You're gonna asked for. If B just say, we accept the offer, there is no contract. Be careful, okay? Since A as a buyer just send out one inquiry, the position is only want to ask the number one, the availability, number two, what price is. So there is no chance for B to talk about, okay, we'll accept your offer. All right? So that is very important. So for any commercial transaction, you need to make sure, okay, there is offer, then we talk about acceptance. If there is no offer, we don't jump to the conclusion. So usually, everybody still remember for the commercial transaction, in order to avoid this kind of confusion, buyer usually send out one document to indicate there is an offer. Usually, what's the name of the offer? Usually, if you put yourself in the commercial business transaction, you're the buyer, you represent your company, you send out one offer, you are the buyer, okay, to the seller, say, hey, this is the offer and we want to buy this item at this price, at this quantity, and this level quality, and what's the delivery date. Specify very, very clearly what's the name of the phone.
Purchasing price.
Yeah, PO. Usually we say this is a purchase order or purchase request. We use a very, very specific name to indicate there is an offer. I just want to mention, in the real world, we don't use this word. In real transaction, we don't use this. So that's why I want to remind my student, the terminology you learn in the classroom, usually we don't use in the real world. Be careful, okay? As I mentioned to you, this class is trying to help you to start your own business, okay? Help you to start your own business. Hopefully, few years down the road, okay, when you meet me somewhere, okay, you say, oh, Professor Tong, I really appreciate, because the thing we learn in the class, we can use it, not just for the theory, okay? Hopefully, we don't sit down here and spend your very beautiful time. You can go to Santa Cruz eventually. You don't stay here. You go to San Francisco, okay? Such a beautiful Saturday, springtime. You don't waste time here. But since you want to spend your time here, hopefully this is kind of the investment. You learn something. You learn something that you can use, okay, for your business, all right? So I want to remind you, in real world, we don't use offer, this terminology. Okay, we use purchase order. So for example, when A company send out a PO to B, doesn't matter is a regular transaction or this is the first time transaction, doesn't matter. Okay, say right now put yourself in B here, okay? When your company receive purchase order, you are the seller right now, okay? You are the vendor right now, okay? How many options you can do? How many situations you can react? Usually, you'll be very happy, right? Because this is the chance, this is an opportunity you can do business with A. But that is not only reaction. So, what can you do? Other than acceptance, what can you do?
Reject.
You can reject that, but usually we don't want to reject that, right? We want to keep this opportunity. So, more frequently, you may want to start your negotiation, because, as I said, probably you already sent out one response before, okay, which responding to A's initial inquiry, right? Probably last week A sent you inquiry letter. Upon that moment, you already sent out one responding letter already. Say, hey, respond to your inquiry. We may be able to have this quantity at this price, at this quality available on certain day. But that is not acceptance, right? And that is not the offer either. So right now, you sitting here, you receive one form of PO on your desk, and at this moment, you are not necessary to say yes. Why? Any reason why you may not want to say yes? Think about this. You are in this situation. Any reason why when you receive the PO from A and at this moment you don't want to say yes? Any reason why?
Multiple offers.
Say it again.
Multiple offers.
Maybe this is one situation. You receive other than A. You have a B, C, D, E, F, G company give you the same PO, and you only have certain limit quantity available, or even the item is kind of shortage on the market. We know for the commercial merchandise, right? Usually the price up and down. So one situation is like you receive multiple PO. In real world, you may receive multiple PO. So at this moment, since you are not bound by yourself, right? There is no any obligation. You have to accept that. So you can choose the best offer. So if you receive the multiple PO for certain limit item available right now, then you can start to negotiate. You say, okay, really appreciate your PO. However, in order to fulfill your order, we need to change our price, which is fine. Okay, for this class, you need to know during which period you can negotiate. Because right now, we are talking about meeting of mind. And then we are talking about offer and acceptance, right? So you need to make sure which document is an offer. So to simplify, we say, starting from the point you receive the PO or purchase request, you receive this formal letter. Usually for the commercial business, we will have this in writing. We don't rely on verbal communication. Never rely on verbal communication. We are talking about the written requirement as the fifth one. But right now we are focused on topic right now as a negotiation. All right? Yes. So when your company as a B receive the appeal, you are not obligated to accept it. And also, you don't want to just reject it unless this purchase order is almost nonsense. Okay? Then you start to negotiate, right? Then you send out the counter offer to A, and A send out the counter offer to you again, back and forth. So finally, you can reach the final agreement. All right? So remember I talked about one issue, right? Revoke. Remember? Revoke is not equal to rescind. Be careful, okay? Be really careful, okay? If you check your note, this is almost about 1 month ago, okay? Anybody still remember what's revoke mean? Oh, see.
The offer before accepted?
Before, right? This is very important. Revoke and only happen before acceptance. Be careful, okay? Be really careful, okay? So let's talk about what revoke really is, okay? Say when A buyer, okay, sending out PO to B seller, before acceptance, A can send out another communication to B, say I cancel my PO, I cancel it. But be careful. You can cancel your PO only before B accepted. This is very critical. If this element being fulfilled, mean being accepted, no more revocation. So let me simplify, okay? Number one, owning the offer only the party who's sending out the offer may revoke the offer. So always you link revoke to offer. Okay, this is the number one. Be very, very careful. Number two, remember, okay, number one, only the party who's sending out offer may be able to revoke. So you need to use the right side, okay? Only the overall mean the party sending out the offer may be able to revoke, okay? Number two, you can only revoke before acceptance. If the offer being accepted, mean under contract, then no more revoke. Both parties may talk about rescind. Rescind means also cancel the agreement. However, be careful the difference between revoke and rescind. We'll talk about rescind very soon. Any questions so far? Because it's so subtle, okay? I want to go slowly. I want to go making sure everybody.
Can you repeat one?
I'll repeat one more time, okay? Never confuse revoke to rescind. Okay, rescind. This is rescind. Have a seat. Where's the sign sheet? Can I have the sign sheet? Give it to me. Almost.
This is going to be
Yeah, this is all one. This is all one. Let me see. So we have Xu Jian, right? Am I right? Jiany.
Jiang.
Oh, Xu Jian, right? Close enough, right? Jian or
Jiang.
Jiang. So Jiang is the last name or Xu is the last name?
Jiang.
Jiang's last name. All right. Good. So we have Ali. Am I right? Ali. A-L-I. A-L-I, right?
Yeah, A-L-R.
Let me see. Is Yao Pai here?
Yeah.
Yao Pai. Oh, he's coming. Good. Let us see. Let me see. Hong Yong. Hong Yong here. Not here yet. Xu Hong Yong. If he's not here. Jackson. Not here yet. So Christine, I still, you have not signed yet, right? Yeah, can you sign for me? Oh, let's continue.
Do you call out the name? Like, do you have to call out the
Yeah,
name?
yeah, I will. Yeah, I know you. Some people you come in late. I will.
I will double check.
Okay, back to here. So I know the confusion is revoke and rescind. Okay. You need to be very careful. Okay. When we say revoke, that really means there is no contract yet. We still, at this moment, both parties still negotiate. So remember, when you say revoke, it's only the party who send it out the offer before the offer accepted may consider to revoke. That means this is it. Okay? I change our mind since you have not received or since you have not accepted our offer. There's no contract yet, so I just say forget it. Rescind means there is contract ready, but due to certain very specific reason, one party may be able to cancel or terminate the agreement. We'll talk about that later on. Okay, but at this moment, you only need to know there is a difference. There is a major difference between rescind and revoke. Okay, that's good enough. Thanks. Thank you. So we have Christina here. Okay, make sure. Hong Yong is still not here yet, right? Xu Hong Yong is not here yet. Okay. Jackson is not here yet. Right. see, Dyson, Xin Chi Tai. Now here. Christine Maria is here, right? Okay. Chifu Liu, and Yancy, right? Yancy. Anyone I miss you? Jackson, sorry. You have not said it? Just one moment. I want to make sure everybody you have your name here, otherwise maybe you cannot get the final. Let me see. Andy is here. So Ivy. Okay, assume right now both party has gone through the second elements, right? There is offer and there is acceptance. Oh, by the way, everybody, in your experience, if you, how many of you are the purchaser, work for a company? Probably not many. You are the buyer, the purchaser, not many. I believe their job is too specific. You? Okay, because you are one-man company, so you do everything. you are CEO, a secretary, a CFO, you are purchaser, you are also a janitor, whatever. Good. One-man company or one-woman company is a good, place to start with. It's a Fortune 500. Okay. So assuming right now we gone through this point, right? So if you are in B position, you send out confirmation. So usually in the real world, probably we do not enter into very complicated, say 100 pages purchase agreement. Probably not, right? For the purchase, because this is really the daily life. You don't want to spend your energy, you don't want to spend your assets, your resource on such a routine job, okay? So in real life, I will show you another example of different agreement, but probably not purchase agreement. For your company, you just want to simplify. So usually, buyer send you out the PO, and the seller send you out the confirmation. This is it, all right? And usually to save your time, probably go through email. Good enough, enforceable. So anybody still remember what's the third element for a valid agreement? The third one? Consideration. Consideration means you must do something for exchange. Cannot just become the one side, okay? So that's easy because for any purchase agreement, if buyer to pay something, the seller to deliver something, good enough. And the number 4 issue, I don't want to spend too much time. What's the number 4 issue? Legality. That means the content or the subject of the agreement must be legal. You don't want to do any like weapon, gambling, drug issue. So I think that's not big issue. However, be careful. If this is international sales, so be careful the number 4 elements, legality. If this is an international issue or international sales, especially the other part is in Asia, for example, China. Okay, be careful because in the United States, certain item is restricted.
Export.
Right, restricted for export, especially high-tech know-how or technology or final product. Be careful if such item is limited or restricted by law, then the whole country becomes invalid. All right. So we completed this last time. Then we go to next issue. If there were valid, enforceable, oh by the way, I forgot one thing, written issue. Written. I don't believe this is a big problem for the commercial transaction. All right, because as I said, even you communicate through email, good enough. But what about just 100% verbally? It shouldn't happen, but my question is, if both party does not object to number 1 to number 4. However, the only issue is there is no written whether or not this is a problem. Is this problematic? Maybe yes, maybe no. Okay. This is called statute of frauds. Everybody still remember I mentioned this? Statute of frauds. Statute of frauds. Okay. So what is the requirement for? Still remember that? What kind the agreement must be in written?
Okay.
I will put it down here. Okay. Statute.
You have to have at least $500 and then
Yes,
this
yes.
must be in writing.
Right. Right. Okay. Or either or. If this is a real estate transaction, real estate, we will leave the real estate issue as our last one. Okay. In May 4th. Okay. So either, okay, I see it. Either this is a real estate transaction, I mean sales, mortgage, or if this is a real estate lease, more than 1 year. If month to month is okay, but I still recommend everything put in writing, okay? And also, as Maria just said, if the transaction value more than $500, 500 US dollars easily for the commercial transaction, it's very easily more than $500. So this is a requirement, okay? If the transaction is more than 500 US dollar value, it must be in writing. But more importantly, if you violate statute of frauds, for example, transaction is more than $500, but there is no written agreement, what's the consequence?
There's no contract. I mean, if the requirement's not met, then there's no contract.
Be careful, okay? Be careful. The consequence of the violation to statute of frauds, there is contract, but the contract is not enforceable. That really means if either party breached contract, usually the judicial, the court will not take the case, so you lose the case. But if both parties fulfill the transaction, and the problem become the warranty issue. Say for example, short of payment or does not meet the quality warranty issue, the court will take the case. See the difference? Alright? So I will not spend too much time here, but at least you need to keep this in your mind. What is the statute of frauds? Okay, what is the statute of frauds? Okay. By the way, can I do the survey, okay? Let me have a sidetrack a little bit, okay? Let me have a sidetrack a little bit. Because usually I prefer you have your final project done by yourself. So you have more freedom to do whatever you want. And that is, my suggest is the 15 minutes oral presentation, and you post it as a video on any other website you can deliver to me. That's my traditional way to have your final project done. But let me have a little bit survey right now, since right now we have almost full house. Okay, so I believe we can get the majority quorum here. Okay. Any one of you prefer you have a final exam instead of final project? Because I know some people say, well, I spend more time on this 15 minutes final presentation. In order to produce the 15 minutes final presentation on video, I really spend 2 days to do it. So I really prefer we have, say, 1 hour final exam to have everything finished. Anyone you prefer you have a final exam instead of a final presentation?
Open book or closed book?
I don't care. You can give me your input. Because I know some of you really prefer say, we have just one thing done right away. I don't want to spend too much time, Even though Professor Tong you said 15 minutes, but it's not really true. I spent 2 weeks. So I know, because I was student one time before, I know that. So 15 minutes is not really 15 minutes. So some people say, okay, how about we spend 1 hour sitting here, then we have everything done. So yes, Maria, you prefer
Yes,
that way?
sir. With the 15 minutes presentation, I learned a lot. I mean, I propose to do that and keep it that way.
Really appreciate that, right? Really appreciate it. I really appreciate you're on my side. I personally I prefer 15 minutes presentation. Number one, you have more freedom to do whatever you want. Number two, you really learn something. Because to turn in your final exam and to get A, that's easy part. And I believe you all understand. I believe you all agree. To get A from me is not really difficult. It's not really difficult. You're here, and I know you learn something. It's not really tough to receive A from me. So I really do not wish that is the final goal. Okay, you get A either way. You get A. However, as Maria just mentioned, for those 15 minutes presentation, you learn more. You learn more. Okay, not just only the freedom to do it. So maybe you're right. I agree with you. You spend much more than 1 hour to finish those 15 minutes final presentation. But I do believe you will learn more from those production than just sitting here for your final exam. So I want to collect more information from you. So hopefully this is the majority, concessions. Okay. Hopefully you're gonna agree with me. Any other the other side opinion? Say you really prefer 1 hour in class final exam. Okay, that's good. So we're gonna stick with 15 minutes, okay? Because if for final exam, I can test you like this. What are those 4 elements for a value? But this is nothing, you don't use this in the real world, right? After you finish this class, nobody gonna ask you, what are those 4 elements, right, in your whole life. So I don't want to waste your time, So hopefully you agree. Yes, Maria?
Yeah, I'd rather get an A than sweat in class. Coming up with an answer.
Yeah. So if that is agreement from our class, you can start to prepare your final presentation. Don't wait, even though you have a long time to go. It's 2 weeks from here, so this is say 18, right? This is 18 before the summer semester started. So yes, we're gonna stick with the final project as a 15 minutes oral presentation on the video, because I don't want to fooling around those elements. I can use this in classroom as a lecture, but it does not help for you at all, Yes.
Yes, the 50-minute presentation, what would you like us to do?
Yeah, I would rather, for those of you took my entrepreneurship from last semester, it's very similar. You just presume you will start out your own business, all right? You just presume you will run your own business. Whatever, doesn't matter what kind of business. It's a one-man company, one-woman company, it's a corporation, it's an LLC, it's a designing company, it's a retail company, it's a website company, you name it. You choose your topic, right? Then, however, we narrow down the issue. We will not talk about the business planning, because we talked about it already. We will not talk about the business planning. We will not talk about the business model. We will not talk about business too broad. You only pick out one legal issue. Pick out one legal issue which related to your business. Then you elaborate. Let me give you one example. Say business organization. We're gonna talk about that here, I believe. You just talk about why you choose corporation. Why did you choose, say for example, compare S corporation to C corporation? Why? What's the benefit for your company, for your business? Or why did you pick out LLC, even though you don't understand what LLC right now, but you will know what it is here. I just give you one example, okay? Or say for example, you talk about employment issue. We'll talk about probably employment issue next time or in 2 weeks. Say for example, when your company start out, you're going to hire people coming in as a staff, right? And you may have a choice to identify this staff as employee versus independent contractor. For those of you work at, with the high-tech company, you all understand right now in order to save the overhead, high-tech company try to configure an employee as independent contractor because they don't pay for your medical insurance. They don't pay for your benefit. They don't give you the pension, right? They don't even pay you employment tax. So many reasons company want to identify same person as employee versus independent contractor. So, we have another, at least 4 sessions to talk about that. So many issues you can pick. So the last week we're gonna talk about real estate. Say for example, for your company, in order to run your business, you want to enter into lease or you want to buy your own building. What's the legal issue there? So I think 15 minutes is easy, so easy to fulfill, even though you will spend more time. But I don't believe there is problem for each of you to pick out your own topic. I will not specify the topic for you because for your own benefit, you pick out your topic. So especially it's more beneficial for those of you took my entrepreneur from last semester. You can continue your same topic, you save your time. But not necessarily bad for those of you new have not taken yet because you can consider to take it, in full. So for this legal business law connect to entrepreneur, eventually it's back to back. Doesn't matter you take which one first. Doesn't matter. So do I answer your questions? So for all of you, I highly recommend don't wait, okay? Because the semester is so short. So don't wait. You pick out your topic, and down the road you pick out your legal issue, whatever you like.
Yeah, I have one more question. Do you want it to be like a video or it could be just the audio?
Audio will be fine, but
because the video took very long time to upload to the website.
Okay. To answer your questions, okay. It's part of my personality. If I cannot do it, I never impose people. I never ask people to do it. So I will not impose any mission impossible to you, okay? That is Tom Cruise, okay, not you, okay? So I will not impose any mission impossible to anyone. Because you know what? I upload my 5 hours videos every other 2 weeks. So 50 minutes, eventually it is reasonable length for the ordinary people like you. I have a special account with YouTube. I can upload as long as I want. So if I can upload 5 hours video to YouTube almost every other week, I believe 15 minutes is not the problem, but still up to you. If you really want to just upload to audio, that's fine, but it's too boring. Without the picture presentation, without the PowerPoint, it's too boring for me. Again, okay, the way to do it eventually is part of the learning curve. You may need to utilize either the Apple is iMovie, right? Is that called iMovie under the Mac, or you use the Movie Maker under the Windows. They are all come with your computer. So you need to utilize such kind of software to edit your audio with your picture. You need to use those software to combine together and to do the editing before you upload. Okay, you can upload just the raw materials.
So you want the video like it's like me standing presentation?
No, if you want to, no. When I say video, I really mean not really you, okay? Yeah, you can promote yourself, I don't care. But when I say video, not really you. When I say video, is the presentation, meaning slide, for each slide. So I think you may need to learn how to use either PowerPoint or whatsoever, However, the problem, as far as I know, the movie maker cannot take PowerPoint. You need to convert the PowerPoint file to any other picture file. You need to learn a lot eventually. So as I say, 15 minutes is not really 15 minutes. You learn a lot. You learn how to produce movie.
All day for me.
Yeah, I know that. I know that. So, but you say yes, right, already. Really appreciate you on my side. Really appreciate. Right. I know you never done the movie maker before. You never done iMovie before. This is a good chance for you to learn. You learn a lot from this class eventually. So, well, for some people say it's kind of really hard to learn the new thing, but learning. Once you learn how to do it, it's become very fun. You know, it's part of your life. You can make a lot of movie really well.
Yeah, but I still don't know like what kind of picture, like you need slide, what kind of picture.
Usually, okay, this is the way I recommend to you. Okay, this is the way, but you don't need to follow my recommendation. Usually, I will figure out the outline. Okay, I will figure out the outline. Usually, the outline is only half page, not more than 1 page. If your outline more than 1 page, it's gonna be longer than 15 minutes. You need to narrow down not more than 15 minutes, okay? But not shorter, okay, than 12. So between 12 to 15, I highly recommend you try to match 15 minutes. If more than 15 minutes, you may be rejected by YouTube. Maybe if you are the frequent user, you can upload more than 15 minutes, but you're just a one-time user, your video more than 1 second, you can upload it. So it is gonna be the headache for you. So you limit your presentation under 15 minutes, but not less than 12. So between 12 to 15 minutes, right? So the step number 1, you have your outline. You just write it down and type your outline. Number 1, 2, 3, 4. Of course, you pick out your topic first. You pick out a topic, and you start to do the research. Research right now is only on the tip of your fingers. Do Google research. Say for example, say lease agreement. Just give you one example. Your new business maybe need to lease one small office. Say for example, you may consider to do the legal research. What's the major element on the lease agreement? If you type lease agreement, say California lease agreement, a lot of topic coming out. A lot, much more than 15 minutes. So you don't have to talk about the whole list. You only talk about few sections there. Will be fine. You can narrow down, okay? So number 1, you pick out your topic. Number 2, you type half pages outline. Then number 3, you start to do your research online. Then, when I say picture, really mean either you convert from your Word file, or convert from Excel file, or convert from your PowerPoint file to picture. And there are a lot of ways to convert it. I cannot teach you that. If you have any problem, you can discuss with your classmate. And by the way, for the final product, I highly recommend is individually. I do not recommend for the group work, because for any group work, for 2 people is 30 minutes, 3 people is 45 minutes, and a lot of work you need to put in to coordinate. So I highly recommend this is an individual presentation. However, you can talk to each other. But hopefully, I will not see the similar final product from 2 people. All right. So no such coincidence. Okay. No such coincidence. So I will not see the same topic from the 2 different people. So if you never done conversion from the Word file PPT to picture, you never know how to do it. You learn. Then you can post it. The video and the audio and also the picture file all together under the iMovie or Movie Maker. So you clear so far? So when I say video, I really mean slide. I really mean slide. You produce. Well, you can put your picture on slide if you want. Yeah. Picture. The picture sometimes mean really the picture. You use the camera to take picture if you really want to, or convert from Word file, PPT file to picture file. That's what I mean. So when I say picture, maybe just the presentation, all right? So when I receive your video, what do I see on your video is each slide, probably there's this, the the caption there, right? The title there. You have a scene picture, you have a movie picture, make it as fancy as possible. You just want to impress your audience, right? I'm your audience. When you do the presentation, you just try your best to impress your audience. So do whatever you feel comfortable and whatever your ability, may be extended to. So sky is the limit. So so I only give you the configuration is 15 minutes video presentation. So don't wait. Otherwise, for the last 2 weeks will be very, very tension. Don't wait. So I recommend at least after today you pick out your topic, and then you start to your outline. You may change your outline down the road, but don't change everything. So you go step by step. So I think by the May 18th or I believe 19th, because I always have the deadline is fall in the Sunday afternoon. So give you little bit more time to do it. So do I answer your questions? Okay, all right. So go back here. So that's okay, right? So once we enter into a valid agreement, we are talking about how to fulfill it. Okay, so right now we try to avoid any litigation. So I believe I mentioned this a little bit, right? Once we have a valid agreement, how can we discharge from our duty? Discharge means we will not get any trouble. So once A buyer placed the offer to B seller and B accepted and send out confirmation. So what's the application for B? Say for example, you are in B's position. How can you discharge your legal liability? As a seller, what you do? You deliver the goods on time, right? At the certain price with the certain quality, right? So you fulfill. But in reality, we talk about the payment issue. How do you secure the payment issue as a seller? This is another topic you can pick, right? Say, for example, you presume you're gonna run your own business as a seller, as a vendor, as a service provider. How can you secure the payment issue? So if this is a very simple business, how can you secure payment issue? How can you make sure you will receive the payment? This is not abstract, right? This is very, very...
Well, I was thinking, make sure that you have everything in writing. Provide a receipt if you have to, in case that person comes back, comes around.
But again, you want to avoid any headache. You want to avoid any hassle in the future.
So I can say, I will sell you the good and after you pay me.
Okay, all right, this is very smart, right? You are the seller, say, you pay me first, then I deliver, but it's smart enough for you, but it's kind of very foolish for the buyer. Why should buyer do it, right? Buyer will say the same thing. How about you deliver first, I will pay you, right? So it become, the war of talk, right? So in reality, yes, I agree with you. If I was seller, I will ask the same thing. You pay me first, then I deliver. But this is kind of fraud. When I receive the payment, I run away. Usually, yeah.
Yeah, you can ask like
half and a half,
So this is another way, half and half. You pay me the deposit, right? Not necessarily half and half. You pay me 30% deposit, then the balance you can pay me upon the delivery. How about the other?
I'm thinking about the escrow.
Yeah, good. We can eventually we talk about so many issues you can pick for your final project. Talk about escrow account. If you never heard about escrow account, mean this is a third party. It's a say law firm, title company, bank. All right. You open up one escrow account. That means it's a third party, and the buyer deposit the full amount or partial of the amount to this account. Say bank is holding this account. It's called escrow account. Very good suggest is eventually this is a very, very, very common practice for international business, right? Eventually for international, we sometimes say this is a letter of credit.
MC.
It's very, very similar, right? Very similar to it, okay? So we use an escrow account, right? And according to the purchase agreement, buyer sending out the amount to the bank, you know, as a escrow account, and the seller cannot withdraw from it, cannot, and the seller while deliver, of course not goods, okay? If the goods is too large, say 20 containers, you cannot deliver 20 containers to escrow, right? For small item, probably you can deliver to the escrow, but for the large quantity, you cannot deliver. You just deliver the document, right? Bill of lading, right? So eventually, for international transaction, buyer, say in our case is A, send out the payment to in the form of ARC, in the form of letter of credit, right? Eventually, this is valuable. This is a monetary valuable there, and the seller once put everything on the ship, right, for delivery, right? Then it's called the bill of lading. Eventually, bill of lading is one kind of negotiable instrument. ARC is also one kind of negotiable instrument. Okay, we'll touch that a little bit for today. Negotiable instrument means any kind of valuable paperwork. People can transfer it, and the holder of such negotiable instrument can redeem it as cash, can use it as a payment. It's very powerful.